In today's video, we're going to look at another Bose music system. This is one of those wave radios with the built-in CD player, and the complaint is that it has a jammed disc. So we're going to have to disassemble this unit and see what the problem is. Let's take a look. So let's check out this Bose. Oh, okay. As you can hear, it seems to have a mechanical problem with this one. Complaint was the CD won't eject, so we have a problem with the deck on this one. So to open the unit up, the large screws in the bottom need to come out. Should be 5 screws. Top cover will just lift off. Now we need to remove the transformer in order to lift the speaker box off. So the transformer will lift out. And now we can lift off the speaker box. And we'll have to remove the front panel. I'll have to remove this board as well from the front because it is attached. So I have to remove the 2 screws from the front display board. Once the 2 smaller screws are removed from the front display board, the display board can be set on the bench, and then the speakers can be lifted and placed out of the way. Speakers can then be just placed behind the unit. Now I have access to the actual deck. Looks like there's a disc that's stuck in here. I can carefully move the display out of the way so that I can lift up the deck. The deck is held in place by 2 ribbon cables, so we have to be careful not to damage these. I just want to just give it an inspection, see why it's sticking. Okay, I'm just going to try powering it up again and see what it does, and see where it's making the noise. Okay, so I can hear a gear slipping here. I can hear the teeth of a gear. I can see it moving here. Let's get a closer look at this thing here. You guys see the problem? I see the problem already. Do you see the problem? Take a close look. I do believe that somebody has stuck 2 discs in this thing at the same time. Ah, yes, you see. This is a single disc here, and somebody has managed to stuff 2 discs into this, and it looks like they may have even bent the mechanism doing so, but yeah, I think that's the problem with this one. We just have to get these discs out, and hopefully there's not too much damage or damage that can't be repaired. So I'm going to actually remove the deck to do this. What I need to do first is I need to put a short on this jumper here to protect the laser diode when I unplug it. So I'm just going to turn on the soldering iron here, and we'll put a jumper in place there. That way I can take this deck out and work on it. But I definitely want to put a jumper here first, because if I unplug the ribbon cable that connects the laser unit, I run the risk of electrostatic charge damaging the optical laser diode. So whenever you unplug those, you need to put a shorting jumper in first. Some optical blocks have a little switch that you can switch on and off. Other ones have a short pad like this that you actually have to jumper over. Okay, so now I'm going to put the jumper in place. Just like that. That will now keep the laser diode safe when I unplug it. And I'll just grasp it and pull it out of its connector. That's just to protect the ribbon cables from being damaged. Okay, now I can work on the deck separate from the rest of the radio. I'm going to want to remove the top cover so I can release any tension that's built up here. So I just remove that spring and I should be able to push the top cover. I think it pushes back to open like that. And then I can lift the top off of it. Here's the mechanism. This is the gear we would have heard clicking is this one here. This is trying to eject the disc. I just want to be able to get in here and try and push one of these discs out. There's one disc. And get the other disc out now. This one may eject on its own, but I just want to remove that one. Okay. I'm just going to look and see if I see anything bent on this mechanism. Doesn't look like it. Looks to be, yeah, this may be just a bit warped here. I'm just going to try and straighten this down a bit. Okay, we'll put the top cover on. I'm just going to put this thing back together and see if that's all that it needs. So drop the top cover on. It goes in, you clip it in on this right side first. So the clips go in like that. And then it drops in place. You just pull it forward a bit. Replace the screw, and then we'll put the deck back in the radio. And we'll remove our solder bridge that we put on there. To do that, just heat your iron up and just flick it. And it will clear the short. Reseat the deck. We'll power it up now and see if it resets. It says, please wait. Turn the unit on. And it works. Let's stop it here, turn it down. Okay, let's eject the disc and see if it comes out. Ejecting. I do believe the problem is now solved. Load the disc. And the disc loads. Now, actually getting these units to take two discs takes a lot of practice. When a disc is loaded, these little levers are going to raise up, and they're to actually block inserting another disc. So you see, so to actually get a disc into this thing would require a lot of practice and wedging the disc. How the disc went in there without actually getting scraped up, you know, unless someone stuck two discs in, that may be the case. Is the owner may have picked two discs up at the same time and stuck them in like that, and that's the only way I can think of that someone could actually put two discs into one of these things, is if the two discs were sitting on top of each other and someone picked them up like that and shoved them in as one disc. Because as you can see, these are actually quite well designed. There's no way you're going to get a second disc in there with a disc in place, other than someone jamming two discs in the slot at the same time. It's just not going to happen. Hit the eject button again, and the disc ejects. let's put this unit back together. So to put the unit back together, we just reverse what we did to take it apart. I love these units. You know, I know people are I'm gonna draw a bunch of fire from people. They're gonna tell me this thing's the biggest piece of junk, because everyone tells me that. Every time I work on a Bose, I get all the Bose haters out there to tell me how bad these things are. But you know what? They're actually very easy to work on. They're very easy to take these units apart. Everything's just well laid out. The display just fits in place like that. It's held in place by its 2 screws on the front. I love the nice big VFD display that these radios have on them. You can read them from across the room, nice alphanumeric display. You don't see a lot of that anymore. These were really well built, and they were expensive. And, you know, yeah, I'll admit they were expensive. This is made in USA, this unit, right? So it costs a little bit more to make things in the States than it does to, say, in places like China. Look at the board here, nice multi-layer board. Just beautiful. The construction of these things, I've always been amazed at how well they're done and how well they're put together, where you can take these things apart. They're all metal. Like that CD deck is all metal. There's no plastic in there, or very little. It's all metal parts, so you don't have pieces breaking like you do on the plastic decks of China. Again here for the power transformer, right? Just a nice heavy power transformer, and it just slides into place. All the wires clip in. There's little clips for all the wires, and it just drops in place like that. Yes, I know I've got this thing powered up when it's on. Someone will probably give me hell for that, but and then 1 screw to hold down the power transformer. The wires go back into their respective wire keepers to hold the wires in place. They're all insulated and covered in foam. That way you don't get any vibration. That's why these foam insulators are here, is because if not, the wire could buzz against the cavity. So this is to dampen any sound that would happen otherwise. And then the top cover just drops on like that. What could be easier to put together than one of these radios? They're brilliant. And then 5 good heavy screws to hold the unit together. We'll just test it again here. Gotta check out the radio, make sure it's working. We'll try it out for FM. Doesn't sound like it's got any presets programmed into here. Well, let's just tune it down. Of course, there's no antenna plugged into this thing. It's not going to pick up much on FM. But then it won't even pick up my weak signal that's 10 feet away. Oh, actually, it wasn't a problem with the antenna at all. Actually, the reason it wasn't receiving anything is because my little FM transmitter that I use, well, it was set at 87.5, and the lowest this thing tunes is 87.7, so I just had to go bump the frequency up from 87.5 to 87.7. So that's receiving that. Let's see how it receives AM. I should pick up my signal that's at 1440. Which it does. And for you guys have noticed that I've solved the hum problem with my little AM operation, which is 400 milliwatts and goes about 3 houses. It's disgusting. I can pick it up almost at the end of the street in the car. My little AM stereo transmitter, but it now no longer hums. So it's perfect for testing radios. As you can hear, this thing. Yeah, it's the same music. Well, it's the same. It's the same music library. It's the same stuff. It's Music Bakery's music. On the little FM unit, this little FM transmitter I've got, it has a MP3 player built in, so I just have a little, I think it's a 2 gig memory stick stuck in there with the music on it. And the other one is being fed from an old cell phone, which has been decommissioned for years, and it has a music player built in, so I just plug it in and have them both sitting in the house. Well, the FM one's actually here in the shop with me, and the AM one is next door in my office. But that's beside the point. They sound good, and it's great for testing. Hope you enjoyed this video on how to take apart one of these Bose systems and retract a jammed CD. When you get some senior that's stuck a disc in, you see, it's not possible to put a second disc in when there's a disc loaded. You can't do it. You can't do it. There's no way. The only way those 2 discs went in was the guy that owns this must have stuck them both in at the same time. If you were to put 2 discs in like that, yes, then conceivably, yes, well, that's exactly how it happened. I just showed you how it happened. That's the only way that you could do that with these, is that someone's had 2 discs on top of each other and they've stuck them in. Of course, it's going to say disc error because there's no disc in it. But now it works. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one real soon.